Joseline's Cabaret, California, episode 13, titled Your Tour Ends Here. So the episode starts off with Joseline and her husband Ballistic, and they're taking a tour of Dames and Games, and they're trying to figure out if this can be the next place where Joseline can have her strip club, basically. I still don't really understand the whole logistics of it. Like, if it's already a well-known established club, then what are we doing with Joseline's? Like, she said establishing residency there, so I guess it's not about having her own strip club, right? It's just she's just gonna use that place to have her shows temporarily, I guess. Yeah. Then the scene cuts. You see Ricardo. He's in a different type of rehearsing room. Like, it actually looks like a real rehearsal studio. None other than Egypt and Nick, the two girls that were eliminated, came back to the house, and they're coming in talking to Ricardo. So they're just talking to Ricardo about wanting to come back to the cabaret, which, like I said, this is kind of sucks because we already know now in present time that Nick ends up quitting the cabaret, and she's online talking a whole bunch of shit. Like, she is not happy with the stuff that she sees happening on the show, but like, you know, she's back on the show for now. And to me, it seems like Ricardo wants Nick back. Like, he said he likes to see Nick perform. She's a great performer. That just confirms to me that, like, Nick is the best dancer, because why would he say that? But at the end of the day, he's just like, Nick and Egypt, they need to be able to swallow their pride because it's Joseline's. And sometimes, Nick, you don't always have to have a response for every little thing. That's what I always said too. There's a difference between standing up for yourself and, you know, having respect for yourself. Don't get me wrong. There's also something where you don't need to answer to every small thing. That's the whole point. Like, Nick is mouthy. She keeps saying, I'm just trying to defend myself. That's it. But sometimes I feel like your actions speak louder than your words. You can show the type of person that you are without always having to say it. Like, as you can see, she's one of the best dancers, if not the best dancer. And we all know that. She doesn't need to tell us that. We know it because we see it with our eyes. But yeah, anyways, it doesn't seem like Nick is gonna change because she's literally just kind of like standing by what she did. And she's like, I ain't gonna let nobody disrespect me, which is like, yeah, I get it. But also, you gotta be able to control yourself, especially if you're drunk, which we know when you're drunk, you know, you tend to be even more worse, like even more talking, more mouthy than normal. And by the way, let me just say something real quick, because I've seen a couple of people and y'all online trying to say that Nick has a problem with alcohol. I'm like, where did you get that? First of all, that's some serious allegations. Do not try to say that type of about somebody when you don't know 100% for sure. Y'all basically trying to call this girl alcoholic. What the hell gives you that impression? Like, I'm sorry, I watched Nick since she came on Joseline's Cabaret. It never gave alcoholic to me. It gave fun party girl. She loves drinking. She loves having fun. She loves turning up. Where did we get to alcoholic level? Y'all for real? I just don't like that. I feel like it's so wrong to call somebody, because it's also gonna stain her. Like, the fact that people keep saying it now, people are always gonna now associate Nick, oh, she's an alcoholic. She's an alcoholic. That's why I'm just like, stop. Egypt, on the other hand, I do feel like she should come back to the cabaret, because I feel like she was eliminated unfairly just for having a stank face. So I don't feel like that was fair of Joseline. I feel like she should come back and she should have another chance. And Nick, I mean, we already know what happens to Nick, so it don't matter. So the scene cuts and we see all of the girls and they're dancing. I actually like this rehearsal studio better than the one that they had back at the California house, only because the California house one is purple and it just like makes the whole picture, everything just always has a purple hue on it. Like, I know that might sound weird, but yeah, this one is much more clear. You can see better, just plain white lighting. They have mirrors. The other one back in the California house didn't even have mirrors. So even though the California house one is more beautiful, don't get me wrong. So we see the girls dancing a little bit. I appreciate they let us see a little bit, because I know, I get it now. I get it that they can't show us the dance routines because they want people to come to the show. And apparently, like in the past, like they would show us too much and everybody would already know the dance routine. So, but I don't know. I thought that was kind of fun though, right? Maybe in the future, like they can just like specifically do one dance that they always show on the show. I don't know. Because it's just like, this is a dancing show. A lot of us liked to see it for the dancing. not just the fighting. But yeah, anyways, all of a sudden you see Des and Kaniyah. So Des was trying to say that Kaniyah was kind of like in her spot and getting in her way when they were dancing, but apparently Kaniyah was in proper formation. So it was giving that Des was probably not in the right spot, and she kind of looks like a fool trying to tell Kaniyah to get out of the way. And I'm glad Kaniyah stood her ground there. She didn't like just move to the side, you know, because yeah, Des, like, who the do you think you are, girl? Calm down. You're doing way too much this season. She started dating Envy Erica and she just got a completely different attitude. Like, I don't like this, Des. Ricardo leaves to get some food and some of the girls like stay in the room. They grab some chairs, they sit in looking like they're about to play Duck Duck Goose. They're sitting in a circle. You have some of the newbies with some of the OGs. They start talking about the last show, how happy they are, how successful it went, especially with the new people there. The fact that they didn't have Neek, they didn't have ISIS, they didn't have Egypt, like a lot of the OGs that knew the routines. It seems like G Baby and Jane Doe are kind of feeling more accepted in the cabaret. The OG said pretty much this is a sisterhood, and Des is like, she ain't no cabaret sister. Like, you know, immediately Kaniyah started laughing on that note. This is not a sisterhood. Y'all don't know the definition of sisterhood. Sisterhood doesn't mean you have to get jumped in. Y'all are treating it like a gang. Just call it what it is. This is a gang. They pretty much see Kaniyah and they try to check her about her laughing. Envy Erica asked Kaniyah, why were you laughing when she was talking about Cabaret Sister? And Des is like, and then Kaniyah tells them, like, I'm just laughing because I feel like y'all always try to throw shots at me. Like, I don't feel like this is a sisterhood at all. Y'all always say little to me all day long off camera, and I 100% believe it because there was a scene a couple episodes back where Kaniyah was in the van when they were on their way to the running activity, right? And Kaniyah was literally telling us how Envy Erica came up to her and literally said that she still wants to have beef with her. So it's very much so giving that they woke up today trying to start with Kaniyah. So Kaniyah is pretty much saying how like they have issues with her, she don't really have issues, and that made Des so mad. She was like, no, you're the one that always talks about us. When we're not around, you have so much to say, but when we're around, you just stand in the corner being quiet, you don't got nothing to say. You're the one and she gets so mad, right? She throws her drink down on the floor and she has to walk out because she's so heated. I'm like, why did that make you so bad? That wasn't even that big of a deal. She barely said anything. Oh my god, it's giving a little bit of jealousy at this point. Like the fact that that girl got you boiled that much because of her just saying that y'all keep messing with her and y'all keep talking shit to her. What the fuck? Like, she didn't barely say anything. Des even said in her confessionals that she got frustrated and walked away because Kaniyah kept popping her head and talking with attitude. And I was like, I mean, we saw it. And I don't think Kaniyah was really doing that much attitude or popping of the head, to be honest. I feel like y'all just keep saying that because she's black. Like, stop saying that. Oh my gosh, it's kind of annoying. So, of course, Des comes back in the room. She sits down. You know, Envy Erica and Kaniyah are still kind of going back and forth. Envy Erica's really trying to act dumb. Like, why do you think that we're just coming after you? Like, why do you think that? It's like, cause you guys are. You literally already said it. Like, you literally fought her for no reason, Envy Erica. What do you mean? And then after she nodded you up in your forehead, like, you felt some type of way. Your girlfriend felt some type of way. So y'all been on her ass ever since then. Like, come on now. We don't even need Kaniyah to say it for us to know that's probably what happened. The way y'all are acting towards her, like, yeah, come on. So anyways, yeah, they're going back and forth. They're talking about some, come on, do it, do something then, do something. Like, here we go. Des grabs something, tries to throw it at Kaniyah. You have, I think, security or somebody is trying to get in between them. Kaniyah is trying to run around him and fight while the guy is literally like pulling Des away, right? Envy Erica stands up and she starts hitting Kaniyah from the back. Literally, she pulls Kaniyah's hair and she starts boom, boom, boom. Kaniyah turns around immediately and she starts swinging on her. Boom, boom, boom. Woo, it wasn't looking good for Envy Erica. Kaniyah was boom, 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 boom. Like, Envy Erica was swinging, but those swings weren't doing nothing compared to Kaniyah's hits, right? And then all of a sudden, Des comes out of nowhere. She jumps in there. Boom, boom. They start jumping Kaniyah. Ugh, I'm just like, here we go with the jumping. Please, nobody else jump in. Please. Like, this is so annoying. Oh, damn. So now Kaniyah is literally crying and she's so upset because Des scratched her face, and they show the side of her face. It has a scratch. She's bleeding. It looks pretty bad. She's upset. I mean, I understand 100%. I get it. Nobody wants their face to be scratched up. She should expect that the girls are going to scratch. It's been happening to all of them. I'm just saying, like, did you see what happened to T-Love? She got the villain scratch. Forehead all the way down her cheek. Did you see what happened to Jane Doe? She got the tribal African scratches on her cheek. Andrea had scratches all over her chest. Yeah, but and let me reiterate here. Them jumping Kaniyah was wrong. So I understand why Kaniyah got so upset to the level that she did. It's not even just necessarily about the scratch alone. She got jumped. So I just really hope, once again, that when Joseline hears about this, she puts her foot down and she tells the girls no more jumping. Oh my God, Kaniyah is so angry. I could tell she got pulled out of her character. Like, she was so mad. She was talking about, you're a loser, you're a loser, your child should hate you. And they were like, ooh, not the kids, please don't mention the kids. Yeah, I get it. I'm like, you know what? Could have just left it at the loser comment. I don't know. Is it just me, or does Kaniyah not remind y'all of Jayla a little bit from Baddies? Especially the way that she talks, because she is very eloquent and she speaks well. Especially in this scene when she was talking about the scratch on her face. It was very much so reminding me of Jayla. Not the looks, but the way she speaks. She speaks just like Jayla. Ricardo comes in there. He's like, what is going on? He's just trying to figure out what's happening. Kaniyah's like, she just scratched my face because I was beating her. And he's trying to figure out who the hell is fighting. Lexi Gold speaks up and she was like, they just try to jump her. And Kaniyah was like, no, you let them jump me. F everybody. I was like, oh my God, why is she taking it out on Lexi Gold? First of all. Second of all, Kaniyah, oh man, I'm gonna have to call you out real quick because you sat back and you watched Sky get jumped in the very beginning of this season. So it's kind of crazy now that you're trying to clock somebody else and get mad that they didn't jump in and help you fight. Especially when you keep saying in your confessionals that you're not a fighter, you're not confrontational and all that. So you can't hold yourself to that standard, but then you expect other people to jump in and fight and help you. Like, I'm just saying, even though what happened to her was wrong, she was wrong for coming at Lexi Gold right now like that. Like, she did try to go in there and break it up. But yeah, Kaniyah's past like normal anger. She's at the level where, you know, she want to hurt somebody. You know, she's at that level. So you could tell this is just not no petty beef no more. Also, I didn't even know that Des had a kid. Her body is really nice for having a kid. I will say that. The irony though, Des says Kaniyah's head is getting too big. I was like, Pot calling the kettle black. Oh my God, that's what we think about you, Des. Literally, the first season you came, you were great. We were supporting you. Then you just turned around. I feel like it has to be this influence of Envy Erica, because how does somebody change that much? She come back this season just head is this big. She thinks she's the like, girl. All right, so the scene cuts and we see Danny, Sky, T-Love, and Lexi Gold comes walking in. Lexi Gold is not very happy after everything that just happened. And I don't blame her, because her and Kaniyah were kind of bonding. They had that whole scene when she opened up to Kaniyah. She started crying. Kaniyah started crying. You know, they bonded. So the fact that she actually did try to break up that fight when Kaniyah was getting jumped, and then she got yelled at by Kaniyah, is not very nice, and it doesn't feel good, and I understand. Okay, so the scene cuts and we see Joseline. She's touring her second club, the Players Club, or a possible venue of where the Joseline's Cabaret strip club is gonna be. This one looks even nicer. It's super spacious, very clean. So Joseline actually does end up picking the Players Club, because one of y'all let me know in the comments section that this is in fact where Joseline's Cabaret strip club ends up being, and that, you know, this is Snoop Dogg's wife's club pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty funny. Thank you for that tea. It is nice though, I ain't gonna lie. So the scene cuts, we see Kaniyah. She's by her lonesome. Poor Kaniyah. She don't got really nobody that F's with her like that. But we see G-Baby and Sky. They said they're coming in to check on her. G-Baby, she's, I don't know. To me, I don't really love this when it's like, you're not cool with somebody. So like when she's coming in there, she's not really coming in and checking on her. She's just coming in and asking questions, and like, she wasn't consoling her. It was just like she was just trying to get tea from her. That's it. Instead of them them being like, yeah, Kaniyah, that was effed up. You were right. Like, they were just more so focused on defending Lexi Gold. They were like, Lexi Gold did stand up for you though. Like, she told them that was wrong, and she jumped up in there. Like, you owe Lexi Gold an apology. And while I do agree with them 100%, I do think she owes Lexi Gold an apology. I still think it's kind of weird that that's all they had to say. Like, y'all are not gonna say that Kaniyah was right and that the dodo birds, Des and Envy Erica, are wrong for jumping her. And I like Kaniyah because she recognizes that she was wrong. And she said, I do owe her an apology. She's not going to try to justify it or have this big head, Des. She just owns up to what she did wrong. See, they were just literally like, well, you're definitely going to have to go again because you brought up her kid. Does that sound like somebody who's checking on you and consoling you? Like, you still trying to low-key be messy right now. But Kaniyah, she kind of doubles down on that. She's like, you wouldn't feel some type of way if you were a good mother. You only feel some type of way because you're not a good mother. I was like, oh shit. She pretty much standing by what she said. I don't know. I personally think, why? There's 1,000,001 ways to diss somebody, you know, to talk shit about somebody without mentioning kids. So Kaniyah's pretty much like, regardless, I'm gonna fight them because I got jumped. So she's not over it. So the scene cuts, we're back in the main studio with all the girls. All of a sudden, Egypt and Neek come walking in. All the girls go crazy. They're yelling, ah! They're running and jumping on Egypt and Neek, hugging them so much. I'm like, oh my God. You would think these girls, like, they won the $50,000 prize. That's what they were acting like. They were so happy to see Egypt and Neek. I mean, to me, that just goes to show too that Egypt and Neek are some real, like, down people, because why would they all be so happy to see them? So anyways, they ask like what's been going on since they left, and they tell them, you know, Kaniyah got into a fight with Des and Envy Erica, and, you know, they're just kind of talking about that whole situation again. And yeah, it's like a lot of tea that was being dropped. Like, Des was saying Kaniyah was talking about her ever since she jumped in on Gypsy. Like, she took it way back to Gypsy and Erica Mena situation. I was like, oh, damn. That must have happened off camera. We never seen, did Kaniyah say something on camera? I really don't think so. But yeah, she's kind of like saying apparently Kaniyah's been talking a lot of off camera. Ricardo turns it on Neek, and he's like, just like you've been disrespectful, like when you didn't shut up. I was like, ooh, damn, now you trying to clock her. But yeah, Neek actually took it like a G this time, and she didn't try to fight back or say anything back to Ricardo, which I was actually surprised that she didn't try to, you know, defend herself. But the scene cuts, and now we have Joseline and who? Chinks. Chinks feels some type of way because she didn't get to perform in San Francisco, which was the first show of California, which was really not fair because she traveled all the way there. She was ready. She was in her outfit and everything. She worked hard. She proved herself, in my opinion, and they didn't let her perform just because they thought that there was going to be fighting, which I'm kind of like, you should have checked T-Love on that, because Chinks, she wasn't trying to come to the show to fight, but T-Love literally said it. She was like, if I see Chinks, I'm gonna fight. Like, so T-Love is literally saying she gonna ruin your show, not Chinks. So I feel like the wrong person was asked to sit out. So yeah, Joseline's saying like, you're a liability pretty much, and Chinks is saying, no, I know how to be a professional. I'm not gonna attack them when we're dancing on stage, Joseline. And Joseline tells her Chinks is looking like a cat, and cats can't be trusted. I was like, wait a second. As a rescuer of two beautiful cats, I take offense to that. What you mean cats can't be trusted? My cats are wonderful. I trust them 100%. Okay, so despite the fact that Joseline doesn't really trust Chinks, she does give her a chance, and she says she's gonna let Chinks be a part of the cabaret dance because she believes Chinks earned it. And I was like, thank you, Joseline. She actually did. Like, from her quitting, walking out last season to now how she keeps standing up for herself, she keeps getting abused by these girls. Like, they're not even getting to know her. They pretty much already have their cliques formed from last season, and she's coming in here all by her lonesome, but she said she's fine with it. She's standing her ground. She had to deal with a lot. That's why I feel like she did deserve her spot here. She proved herself. But however, I will say it's not even the fighting to me that I would have called out personally. I would have said it's all the time she was late to practice. Like, that was not okay. That is what's not acceptable. But Joseline didn't call that out. So okay, so the scene cuts and we see Joseline and Chinks, and they're coming in to join all the other girls in the rehearsal studio. They don't know that Chinks is back. So Joseline walks in, she wastes no time. She's like, Egypt, how are you here? And Neek, how are you here? Immediately. I was like, damn, how'd she even see them? She spotted them too quick. Nick says she's here to fight for her spots, which is very interesting. You could tell Ricardo is trying hard to fight for them to stay. Yeah, so Joseline, she starts checking Nick. She's like, I feel like you try to overshadow not just me, but like your teammates. And there's enough fame to go around for everybody. And I was like, ooh. Because that's literally what I said about Joseline. I was literally saying like Joseline don't want to share the limelight. Like there was one scene where Joseline was like, it's not about the dancers, it's about me, it's my cabaret. And I was like, it's okay if you give the dancers some shine too, you know. But yeah, Joseline's pretty much saying that about Nick. I feel like Nick has that personality. Like she's not purposely trying to just outshine everybody. That's genuinely her. Like she don't purposely just try to talk for the sake of talking. Like that's how she is. She just talks a lot. Like, you know. But yeah, I definitely can see the point where Joseline says she overshadows the other people on the squad too, just because of the simple fact that she talks so much. Like she's the type of person that like she won't even give other people a chance to talk because she's always wanting to talk. But I feel like that's just Nick genuinely, and she's not just doing this for the camera or trying to put on a persona. So surprisingly, Nick doesn't say anything when Joseline says all of that. She just says, she nods and she stays quiet. And guess what? It's done and over with. Joseline literally changes the topic. I was like, wow, see? That wasn't that bad, Nick. You just had to be quiet. That whole, like, none of this would have happened. She would have never gone home and came back. And honestly, she probably would still be a part of the cabaret if she would have just be quiet from the very beginning. Because they say the reason why Nick quit the cabaret is because of the show. Like, because fans didn't like how Nick was being treated on the show. So then in real time, Joseline didn't like that. She'd start taking it out on Nick, and Nick quit on her own. So that's unfortunate. And then Joseline turns on Egypt. She's like, hey, you're a big bitch. Like, damn. She's calling her Shrek to her face, ogre, Shrek this, Shrek that, ogre this. And she's like, you gonna go out the door and say you want to fight me? Shame on you, girl. Egypt's like, no, I didn't say that. I don't remember her saying that either. Like I said, unless it happened off camera. But yeah, all of the other girls all of a sudden are like, shame. Like, what? What? So Joseline's telling Egypt's like, listen, I'm not saying that you can't fight, period, but like you might have to like maybe just push, trip, you know, you're too strong basically. And let me tell you something, I saw a comment by the main Zeus security guy, Big Ant, and he himself said Egypt is the strongest girl that he ever had to pull off of anybody in a fight. So if he's saying that, then it must be true. He literally said Egypt is the strongest girl. And you know how many fights he's broken up? I mean, I feel like low-key Egypt might be the strongest girl out of everybody in baddies and Joseline's cabaret. Okay, so then Joseline sees the band-aids all over the side of Kaniyah's face, and she's like, what happened to you? Like, why you got band-aids on your face? She's asking Ricardo. Ricardo's like, she got into a fight with their girlfriends, Des and MV Erica. And then Joseline immediately is like, well, why am I hearing that? Like, when Ricardo told you to get on the floor, you said, no, I'm not doing that. She's kind of checking Kaniyah right now. And I was like, oh no, can we go back to the fight? Because she got jumped. Can we focus on that? Oh, Kaniyah was like, I didn't say it like that. And Ricardo's literally like saying under his breath, a no is a no, no is a no. And Des is literally like, you said I'm the cleanest one here, I'm the best dancer, I shouldn't be on the floor. I was like, oh, well, Kaniyah, if you said no when Ricardo told you to get on the floor, that's kind of wrong because he's the choreographer. So yeah, like what reason exactly? Now that is the first time I will say it's giving very much so that you think you're better than other people. Okay, so Kaniyah explains that it was all Danny's fault, basically. She said Danny was messing up so much that Ricardo at the last second told her to switch with Danny. And she was saying like in her head, she was saying no because she cannot process like that. Like she can't just switch that fast and start doing all of Danny's stuff like in a new position and all that. Like she was like, I knew I just couldn't do that, so that's why I said no. And you know, she made it sound very respectful, but Joseline was like, that's not what was told to me by Ricardo. You didn't say it like that. Like Des took a page out of Ocean's book and she is being the biggest teacher's pet right now. She literally tattletaling like, oh my gosh, every little thing she's tattletaling on Kaniyah to Joseline. And she literally now is like, and she's saying everything that you said to us back to us. Joseline said, what you mean? And she's like, you know, when you said about my kid, she said that back to me. And Joseline's like, oh no, let me clarify, she's a great mom. Des is a good mom, like she's amazing to her kids. And I was like, kids plural? Oh my gosh. I did not think she had kids. Yeah, it's kind of crazy though, because Des, she was the one provoking that out of this whole situation. And then now when Joseline came back, she's acting like the biggest victim. Like straight up. Oh my gosh. And Kaniyah is getting her chewed out, which really is not fair. So Joseline's saying that she only takes about 8 people with her on tour, so they have way too many people. They got 14 girls. She wants to eliminate 2 so that there could be 12 girls. Then she takes Ricardo out into the hallway so that he can give his little input on who he thinks should go home, but they're not really agreeing. Ricardo is taking it just from a choreography point of view. Joseline's taking it more so from like overall workability, you know, everything, like how the girls are. She has Ballistic. Who does he think should go home? Ballistic says Sky and Jane Doe, 2 of the newbies. I was like, oh damn. But I guess it's like I just haven't seen Sky dance that much. Oh shit. I did not expect this. Joseline's pretty much giving her little speech. She wants to keep the girls who are really fighting for it and proving that they want a spot here, which I understand because those are the type of girls that are not going to just quit the cabaret in the next heartbeat, right? But she says before she picks 2 people, she wants to see Nick and Kaniyah battle it out. I was like, oh shit. Now this I actually do want to see. I just want to see both of them dance and not just like this cut up montage, especially since they keep saying Kaniyah dances just as good as Nick. Okay, so these girls both dance in different ways. Now that I got to see them dance, I'm like, hold on, they both are really, really good. Kaniyah, she's a little more fierce and she's more of the hair whipping, you know, back and forth fierceness. Nick more sensual, very sensual, smooth, like I feel like, I know this is the cop-out answer, but I feel like they're both very great dancers, just different type of ways. If you're going cabaret, I guess I would say sensual probably fits that better. Kaniyah kind of gives me like Beyonce, like fierce, hair flipping, boom, 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 like body moving fast. That's her style. They have different strengths for sure, and that's what Kaniyah said too on Instagram. So I'm kind of stealing her own words. When they were trying to compare her, Kaniyah was like, listen, I'm gonna just say that we both have our strengths. But I think Nick is full on like, nah, I'm better. Now Joseline is pretty much asking Danny why she's been with the new G's more than the old G's. Why haven't you had the OGs back? Why are you with the new G's? And Danny's like, oh my god, the way she talks, you could tell she's scared of Joseline. Well, respectfully, it's just been some instances where I was feeling like, it's like, okay, girl, spit it out. But no, she just basically said like, they don't F with me. And Ricardo doubled down on that. He was like, yes, they literally let it known that they don't really like Danny. So Ocean's like, that's not true. If that was the case, why did Danny send her emergency alert out to us when that whole situation happened? But you could tell that this whole season there is kind of been this divide. And I think it's because Oceans and Drea all of a sudden became girlfriends, right? They're like best friends now. And I feel like Drea is putting Oceans over Danny. And since Oceans and Danny kind of fell out, boom, there you go. Like Oceans and her clique, they pretty much don't F with Danny. So if Danny's in this weird limbo area, so she's just trying to like be friends with the new girls, which I don't see anything wrong with that. So anyways, finally now we are getting to the eliminations. Oh, so she did end up going with Jane Doe as the first pick. I was like, oh, that made me a little bit sad. But I didn't really understand why, because Joseline said her situation is here and she feels like that's where she needs to be, but like the cabaret is always open to her. And I see she's on tour with the cabaret now, so I don't really know what she meant by that. If Jane Doe had some stuff happening on the outside that she just needed to be in. But yeah, I felt a little bit bad for her as my fellow animal lover. I'm sad to see her go. So we see her in her exit interview and she tripped me up because she talked about, I'm gonna miss Drea the most. I was like, girl, what the fuck? She was like, I know it sounds crazy, but like since she tested my gangsta, we fought, she gave me African tribal scratches on my face, and then we made up and we got close after that. I was like, oh my gosh, you're on that toxic shit. I see what type of energy you're on. Yeah, no. Damn it. I knew they were gonna do that. Like literally Joseline's getting ready to say who the second girl is. She's literally like, this one's really hard for me. And then boom, we get the previews for the next episode. I was like, no, the cliffhanger. They got me. They got me.